came to speech pathology as a mature age student because in my first degree, I found linguistics. I've always loved language, and linguistics was just fantastic. There's not many jobs for linguists, so speech pathology was my next choice. The highlights of a fairly long career, really. So I started off, my first job as a speech pathologist was working in a preschool for Aboriginal kids. And that was just fantastic. I loved every bit of that. I spent a lot of time reading books with the kids in the preschool, to the extent that they used to call me the story lady, and I just loved that. It wasn't just reading books, of course, it was with very clear ideas of the goals that need to be integrated within the books. So I loved that. I then went to work at Curtin University. And the highlight of working at Curtin University was actually turning the first years on to language. I taught language development in first year, integrated a lot of linguistic stuff from my first degree, and really, really enjoyed the student experience. So that was excellent. I spent a short amount of time in private practice, discovered that really wasn't for me. So the majority of my career, I was at Curtin, I guess you'd say. But while I was at Curtin, I also started doing a lot with Speech Pathology Australia. One of my previous students hooked me in by asking me to stand for branch chair in Western Australia. So I took that on and was branch chair for 3 years. I then became president of Speech Pathology Australia, which was a fantastic highlight, meeting so many speech pathologists, not just in Australia, but overseas as well. After 3 years of that, I was exhausted because it's a long way from Perth to Melbourne. And the year after I stepped down from branch president, from national president, I took on the national tour. So toured various places in Australia, talking about working with clients from multilingual backgrounds. Fantastic experience, absolutely loved that. And then I was even more exhausted. I was still working at Curtin through all of this as well. I hadn't had enough of Speech Pathology Australia, so I took on the position of Senior Advisor, Evidence-Based Practice and Research, and filled that position for quite some time. One of the really, really big highlights was being asked by Gail Mulcair to take on the organisation of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Advisory Committee and take on the development of the first reconciliation action plan for the association. So I didn't say at the beginning, but my linguistics degree had a lot of focus on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages. So it's been an area of interest for me for a long time. So working in that area with the association has been a real highlight for me. Oh, the profession has evolved so much. When I did my speech pathology training, dysphagia wasn't really a thing. And now it's really, really important. Not the most important, but it's a big thing in a lot of contexts. I have seen a huge increase in the private practice sector, which means that graduates these days who are wanting to go into private practice need business acumen, they need marketing acumen. So this is all quite different from when I started back in the day. And the other really big change is the growth in the size of the profession. So many more speech pathologists working these days. And the growth in the tertiary sector, unbelievable number of courses out there to attract people into the profession. So they're really big evolutionary changes. Along with the growth in members of the profession and the association comes a huge growth in embracing the technology that's available these days. Big evolution, big change for the profession. And the focus on cultural responsiveness as related to working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. That's been a big change, a really important change. Still a lot of work to do as far as that goes, but I'm confident that the association is on the right track. What was it like for me when I started as a speech pathologist? Probably a bit different to that for most people, because I had my 2 children while I was studying speech pathology. So I started working as a speech pathologist, but also looking after 2 young daughters. So I guess balancing the professional and the personal life is always an issue for everybody. It's quite tricky when you've got kids. So, and I think there was possibly less support when I started, less support from the association than is available today. So I think new grads or recent grads these days have a wealth of support available to them through the association, and I'd really encourage you all to make the very most of what's on offer from the association. For me, being a member of the association was important because I saw it as a professional responsibility. I'm known to have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, so there is that bit. It was a way, and is a way, because I'm still a member, of supporting the profession and supporting the profession to support the people that we work with. As I head for retirement, I'm not quite there yet, my advice to recent graduates is to make the most of everything. Get involved with the association, because you'll take away much more than you put in. Make the most of the time you have with your service users, because they're really important, and the relationships you develop with them are really important to them, but also of immense value to you. I would also say balance it. Balance your personal life with your professional life, because it's fairly easy to get very involved in your professional life. Maybe it's also easy to get too involved in your personal life, but a balance is going to be good for you in the long term. Make sure you leave some time for the things you really enjoy doing. Engage with the things that the association is providing for you. So much available in the way of professional education, so much available in opportunities to meet up with other speech pathologists and to really enjoy your professional associations. So take it all. The professional conversations, I think, I'll miss. I have been fortunate to work with a large range of very interesting, competent, professional women, mostly, the occasional man, and I will miss that. I'd say I'll miss the opportunity to contribute to my profession, but I don't have to miss that opportunity just because I'm retiring. So I'm going to be looking for ways to still be involved with the profession as a volunteer, maybe some project work, but certainly to keep up my involvement and to keep learning about the profession and the people that we work with. So what I'm looking forward to post-retirement. Well, I'm still going to be working as an SPA accreditor of university programs for a few more years. And I am looking forward to that, something new for me. I'm looking forward to traveling a whole lot more. Some people would say I already travel an awful lot, but someone has to do it. And I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time at our country property, picking fruit, dealing with various sorts of produce, and just sitting on the veranda, reading a novel and enjoying the view. I've really enjoyed working in a profession that's allowed me to indulge in my fascination for language and to develop a whole range of skills that have been really important in my life.